Without question, the world's biggest club football tournament, the UEFA Champions League. And we are back on the SportsMax zone to revisit football. The knockout round of the UEFA Champions League continued on Wednesday at the San Siro in Italy. Inter Milan hosted Liverpool. Let's go to those highlights now.
Liverpool take the knee, but obviously it hasn't been communicated to the Inter Milan players who are uncertain what they should do. Liverpool continuing the battle against racism and social injustice everywhere. There's Ivan Perisic. Taking on first Fabinho and then Alexander-Arnold. It's a good ball in! Oh, off the woodwork, so close. Çalhanoğlu. Blistering drive. Brilliant from Perisic, just to get that ball into the box. Elliott went to sleep, he allowed Çalhanoğlu to run off the back of him. He does everything right, good first touch. Here's a substitute, yes. Feeds Alexander-Arnold, looks for the return, it's come to him! And a really crucial block by Skriniar. It's Firmino in there, and he got the flick on and he scores! And Liverpool are ahead! Perfect delivery, lovely finish. Bastoni, the player that's second to the ball, he's always got to be first to it, but he just about gets the right touch on it, Firmino. And Handanovic is moving across his goal. He can't then get any length on his dive. Alexander-Arnold bends it long. Diaz is at the far post. Van Dijk had stayed up there as well. Salah, 2-0. Van Dijk wins that one. No sort of clearance from De Vrij. And it comes off maybe Brozovic. Just there. Might have even been Bastoni. No chance for Handanovic. He can't even see it. It's a very intense game for long periods, but in the end, Liverpool have been the better side. Firmino broke the deadlock after 75 minutes with a deft header from the corner. And Mo Salah scoring in an 8th successive away Champions League.
Yes, so they were 0-0 for about 75 minutes of that fixture between Inter Milan and Liverpool. Late goals from Firmino and Mo Salah giving Liverpool the 2-0 victory that they would dearly cherish. Now, in the day's other match, German champions Bayern Munich travelled to Austria to take on their champion Red Bull Salzburg. And we have those highlights as well. Let's see them now.
It's Salzburg, all in white, who get us underway. The Austrian champions against the German champions. Adeyemi. Getting away from Hernandez. Adamu. Salzburg in front.
Adamu, and what a brilliant finish that is. I bet he dreamed of that when he was coming on the pitch. Lovely finish, but this little touch here, just out to Adamu. First time, finish right into the corner.
Adamu. Adeyemi. Put behind for a corner. Driven forward by Pavard. It's come to Coman. They left it late, but Bayern eventually get an equalising goal.
They do their best to try and get in. It's a good delivery. Win that first header. Does Muller get on it or defender touch it? But it's a brilliant finish. When he gets into that position, Pavard, that crossfield pass. Yeah, he does. Muller wins that first header. Great glancing header.
Salzburg, the only debutants in the last 16 of this season's UEFA Champions League, showing that they're worth their play.
Yes, so Bayern Munich failing to get a result there. They had a bad result over the weekend in the Bundesliga. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we have Brent Sancho on the line. Brent, our football correspondent covering, well, all football globally, Caribbean, CONCACAF, Europe, Spain, everywhere, Brent. There's a lot of football going around for you to absorb yourself into. The Liverpool game, let's start there. Inter Milan would have provided some stiff opposition for them because they Inter Milan are currently locked in a very tense-looking Serie A battle there. 3 points separating the top 3 teams at the moment. AC Milan, Inter Milan and Napoli just 3 points off the lead. Your thoughts on the struggle that Liverpool had today to get a result?
Look, I thought it was a terrific display of a champion, and I'll tell you why. They showed the grit defensively, and they stuck in at times when it got difficult for them. Look, the San Siro is a very difficult place to go, and Liverpool stood up. As much as, of course, Inter Milan would have looked like the threatening team, they had 0 shots on target, and that must be noted. And that's a lot down to the fact that Liverpool was so dogged in defence. And then they had 3 players coming off the bench. Firmino, one of which I think would be feeling that he should be starting, but he isn't, and he comes off the bench without pouting, without, of course, sulking. He comes on and scores a terrific goal. In fact, all 3 players changed the course of the football game for Liverpool, and of course ushered in this eventually easy 2-0 win at the end. So you have to give them credit, guys, of what they were able to do, and sometimes in this sport, you have to win ugly, and that's what Liverpool did today. And that, to me, is a sign of a champion, a team that didn't play at their best today. But what they showed is the other side of the game that so many people sometimes question them on. They did very well with it, and that's defensively. They were very resilient and excellent at the back. Yeah,
you said no shots on target for Inter Milan. Perisic did hit the crossbar, didn't he?
Second half, sorry.
Before Liverpool had scored. So I take the point that you're making, that defensively Liverpool had to be astute and dogged, because Inter, kept them honest, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, look, I was a bit surprised. At halftime, we thought that Liverpool would click into another gear and, of course, take the game out of Inter Milan's hand. But it was Inter Milan who came out the aggressor in the second half, and there was a point in the game, Lance and Murray, that Liverpool couldn't get out of their own half. That was the type of pressure that the men from Milan was able to put Liverpool under. But again, I mean, they did not really trouble Alisson in that sense, because we had defensive blocks, whether it be Konate, whether it be Van Dijk, whether it be last-ditch tackles, of course, by Thiago Alcantara coming back defensively. The whole entire team in red put in a shift defensively because they were asked to do that. Inter Milan gave them an examination defensively. So you have to credit them. And as much as we talk about the offensive juggernauts of some of the teams that we believe could go on and win the Champions League, we saw that yesterday from Manchester City. Today we saw a defensive display, a disciplined display, a rigid display from Liverpool, something that we very rarely talk about when it comes to this Liverpool team.
Yeah, and that game between Bayern and RB Salzburg, Brent, of course, Bayern, they are 6-time winners of this competition. They didn't look like that today, though.
No, and you have to wonder how much of the Bochum defeat on the weekend may have impacted them. I cooed a lot about the experience within the Bayern Munich team. When you talk the likes of Pavard, Hernandez, Kimmich in the middle of the park, Tolisso, Lewandowski, Miller. This is a very, very experienced team, and one where that many believe, inclusive of myself, I go on to win it. But we always knew that the Red Bull team would be feisty. It's a young team. It's what we call a selling football club in the sport, where they develop players to move them on to bigger and brighter perspectives. So for me, it was a bit surprising. Give credit where credit is due. I thought Red Bull was excellent. But second half, of course, it was all one-way traffic. And Bayern Munich would be disappointed that they equalized so late and didn't go away with all 3 points. Sorry, yeah. They go away with the advantage.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned you're impressed with RB Salzburg, a team that, has never really reached this far in the competition. And, of course, they've announced their presence. Are we to be concerned that RB Salzburg might knock Bayern out of this?
No, I think there's way too much quality in that Bayern Munich team. I'd be very, very surprised if that transpires, because the way I see it, it's very much a Bayern Munich, Man City, Liverpool type of Champions League scenario that I'm seeing, because those are the teams that are there and thereabouts. I think it was an off day, an off half for Bayern Munich, not necessarily an off game, because second half, as I said, it was all one-way traffic. And I feel when they get back to Bayern, they're going to turn the heat up and they're going to play the type of football that we're used to them playing. And as you just mentioned, this is a very young RB side, and I think experience and going across to Germany and having them take on the German champions, needing a result. Remember, they do need a result to move forward. I think might be just a little bit too much for them.
All right, Brent, always great talking to you on the SportsMax Zone. We'll be in touch, brother.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Yeah, so Bayern Munich, they were beaten 4-2 by Bochum, a team outside of the top 10 in the Bundesliga. Bochum scored 4 goals in about half an hour to sweep into a 4-1 lead and came out winners there. So the Bayern Munich fans at the moment, certainly for the past few days, would be disappointed.